the NFL, but the number of touchdowns thrown equals the quarterback's overall. It's pretty much what it sounds like, man. We took the quarterback's most passing touchdowns in the season, multiplied it by 2, and made that their new overall. Now for rookies, we're going to use their college passing stats because they haven't played in the league yet. And no matter what, the starting quarterbacks must remain the starters, even if their overall is terrible. Let's start with the Vikings. JJ McCarthy hasn't played in the league yet, so he had to get his most passing touchdowns in the season from his college days, and that was 22. Multiply that by 2, he's down to a 44 overall. And he's going to remain the starter in Minnesota. We just dropped the other quarterbacks overalls. Will Levis's case is unique because he only played 9 games last season, so we couldn't use his stat line from that, man. We had to go back to college, and his most passing touchdowns in college was 24. Multiplied by 2, he's down to a 48 overall. As for the Texans, CJ Stroud had 23 passing touchdowns, so now he's down to a 46. I don't think people realize how good Russell Wilson used to be. Some of his touchdown to interception ratios were just nuts. Like, he was elite in his prime. Threw for 40 passing touchdowns one season, so now he goes up to an 80 overall with Superstar. Yeah, quick caveat for how I did it. 80 to 90 got Superstar, 90 and up got X Factor, 70 to 80 got Star, and then below 70 you got Normal. So Geno Smith, who threw for 30 touchdowns a couple seasons ago, is now down to a 60 overall with Normal Dev. Derek Carr actually had some good seasons as well. He threw for 32 touchdowns one year, so now he's down to a 64. Now we know Lamar has a ton of rushing touchdowns, but I'm only doing passing in this video, okay? And 36 is the most he threw in a season, so now he's down to a 72 with Star. Stafford has some crazy years, man. He's an absolute monster. 41 was the most he threw in a season, so he's going to be an 82 with Superstar. Minshew Mania has some really good ratios throughout his career, but 21 is the most he's passed for, so now he's down to a 42. Had to go back to college for Drake May stats, and he threw 38 touchdowns in one season, so now he's going to be a 76. Bryce Young didn't have the best rookie season, only threw 11 passing touchdowns, so he's going to be the lowest overall in the video at a 22. You don't talk about how good of a season Jordan Love had last year. 32 passing touchdowns, so he's going to be a 64 overall. Same exact overall as the guy in Detroit, Jared Goff. 32 was his most as well. But now we have our first 90 plus overall player. It's that bad man. Aaron Rodgers threw 48 passing touchdowns one season. He's up to a 96 with X Factor. He was insane in his prime. Now, I don't think this guy has reached his prime just yet. Trevor Lawrence threw 25 passing touchdowns. He's down to a 50. Daniel Jones actually had a pretty good season, man. He threw 24, so he's only down to a 48 overall. Purdy was pretty good last season, man. 31 passing touchdowns, so he's gonna be a 62. If you don't like this video, all your cousins are gonna bully you for the rest of your life. The 35-year-old Kirk threw 35 touchdowns one season, so he's gonna be a 70. Jalen Hurts, we know he has a ton of tush-push tutties, but people be hating on him, and they say they don't count, so I kept it to just passing, and he threw 23 one season, so now he's a 46. Tua Tagovailoa had himself a nice season when he threw 29 passing touchdowns. Now he's a 58. You know, Dak has some crazy regular seasons. He threw 37 passing touchdowns one year, so now he's a 74. Had to go back to college for the most recent Heisman Trophy winner, Jaden Daniels, threw 40, so now he's an 80 overall. Obviously, Richardson had a short season last year, so he couldn't use his NFL stats, and just like Will Levis, we had to go back to college. He threw 17, so his new overall is going to be a 34. But the only max overall in the video is going to be a guy that threw 50 passing touchdowns in one season. Patrick Mahomes would be a 100 overall if we could make him. He's going to stay at a 99. To put that in perspective, Herbert only threw 12 less touchdowns than that. 38 is his most, but he's still only a 76, man. And Mahomes is different. Kyler's most passing touchdowns was 26, so he's going to be a 52 overall. Baker Mayfield's most was 28, so the 28-year-old is going to be a 56. Deshaun Watson has some nice seasons in Houston, man. 33 was his most in a season. Now he's going to be a 66. And you got another 6 when you look at his experience, so I don't know, man. He might need to change his evil ways. Bo Nix threw 45 passing touchdowns one year. So now he's the 3rd highest overall at a 90. You know this man scrambles for a bunch of touchdowns, but once again, it's just passing. And Josh still passed for a lot with 37. So now he's a 74. Another guy that's in the 70s is Joe. He threw 35 one season, so he's going to be a 70 overall. And last but not least, another former Heisman Trophy winner, Caleb, threw 42 in one season, so now he's up to an 84. So now the league is completely changed. I mean, Mahomes is still at the top. He's probably going to take the Chiefs far, but the 2 other 90+ overall quarterbacks are in the AFC. Then you have a bunch of good quarterbacks from the NFC. Who knows what's going to happen? All I know is the quarterback stats, the ratios are going to be ugly. Ravens end up with the 1 seed with a compromised Lamar. Jets make it, of course, with Aaron. Broncos with Knicks. Chiefs with Mahomes. So our 3 90+ overalls end up in the playoffs. The Bills, Steelers, and Titans end up in the postseason. I don't know if there's many surprises. I mean, a lot of these quarterbacks that didn't make it had their overalls compromised. In the NFC, the Cowboys still make it. Niners end up 2nd. Falcons, Rams, Packers, Bears, and Buccaneers. Somehow Jaden didn't make it on the Commanders. Lions miss out. Eagles go 8 and 9. Who else had good overalls? I think that's it. Oh my goodness. 1 and 16, 0 and 17. Giants and Panthers with terrible seasons. 37 INTs for McCarthy, 18 touchdowns. 26-22 for Levis. 22-27 for Stroud. 27-11. Okay, Russell Wilson. 2020 vision for Geno. Carr with 10 more touchdowns than INTs. Lamar with a nasty season. His overall went down, and he threw 1 less touchdown than his career high. Stafford 34-10. Minshew 17-17, perfectly balanced. Drake May 29-4 ratio. Bryce Young 61 interceptions. I mean, he was a 22 overall. We shouldn't be too surprised, but man, I feel bad. I feel terrible. Oh my goodness. Jordan Love 8 more touchdowns. Golf almost twice, no, more than twice as many touchdowns. Rodgers nasty ratio 38-5. Lawrence 32 interceptions, but no comparison to Daniel Jones 37 INTs. I think that's the 2nd most we've seen. Purdy more touchdowns than INTs. Hey man, not everyone can say that. Kirk with a nice ratio 34-8. Hurts 31 INTs, only 20 passing touchdowns, 2 more interceptions than touchdowns. Dak Prescott 40-9 ratio, 4,400 yards, looking like he's in the running for MVP. Jaden Daniels might be in there too, 39-17 ratio. Richardson threw more than twice the amount of interceptions than touchdowns, man. Mahomes really good ratio, 39-5, 4,600 yards. Herbert 22-10. Kyler more INTs than touchdowns. Baker more touchdowns than INTs. Watson same exact thing. Bo Nix 30-7, nasty season for him. Josh Allen more touchdowns. You love to see it. Almost had 4,000 yards. Burrow with a positive ratio as well. And then Caleb 30-10, 3-1 ratio. League leaders Mahomes in passing yards. You have Prescott, Rodgers, Burrow, Daniels. Here is how the rest of the league stacked up. Who had the least amount of passing yards? Let's see. Okay, Daniel Jones, Lawrence, and Richardson in the bottom 3. Stroud right there along with Kyler. Credit to Bryce Young. Even though he threw a lot of interceptions, he kept on slinging it. Dak had the most passing touchdowns. Mahomes, Daniels tied for 2nd. Then Rodgers right behind them. Lamar, Stafford. Let's see who had the least. I'm pretty sure it was Bryce Young. Who was 2nd though? Okay. Actually, no, Daniel Jones had the least. Bryce was 2nd least. Richardson, not the best season. Who threw the most INTs? Bryce. And it wasn't even close. McCarthy and Jones tied for 2nd. Richardson right there. Rushing stats. Okay, we still had guys with some crazy rushing numbers. McCaffrey, Mixon, Taylor, Jacobs, and then Derrick Henry. So even though teams were turning it over like crazy, still had a bunch of 1,000-yard rushers. Pacheco, most rushing touchdowns with 23. Yeah, Taylor, Zeke, Henry, Brees in the top 5. A bunch of guys with 10 plus. How about receiving? Still had Cooper Kupp with 1,600 receiving yards. I mean, some of these quarterbacks still had really good seasons, okay? But I'm surprised to see guys like Thielen up there, even though his quarterback was turning it over like crazy, man. A lot of guys with 1,000 plus receiving yards. Amon-Ra, most receptions. You know, Goff had another good season. A bunch of guys with 80 plus. Let's see who had the most receiving touchdowns. Cooper Kupp, along with Keenan Allen. Both of their quarterbacks were still really solid, man. On to the defense. Jordan Hicks, so many tackles. Oh, the amount of interceptions is going to be crazy. 10 for Lattimore. That's the first time in a while I've seen someone with double digits. Diggs had 9. Levante with 9. I mean, a lot of people had 5 plus. Usually, the most is like 5 or 6. Sacks-wise, Max Crosby breaks the record with 25. Vaughn right behind him. Micah Simmons and then TJ Watt all had 15.5 plus. 17 pass deflections for Kaiser to lead the league. 3 forced fumbles is the most, and then 3 fumble recoveries also the most. 29 tackles for loss for Dexter Lawrence. Patrick Mahomes wins MVP, who's the highest overall. Dak Prescott, credit to him. He just has great regular seasons, him and Lamar. In the top 3, Rodgers in the top 5. Same with Jaden Daniels. Who else was in the 90s? Yeah, Bo Nix made it to the top 10 for MVP voting. OPOY goes to Pacheco. DPOY goes to Crosby in the AFC. Levante takes it home in the NFC. And OPOY goes to Cooper Kupp. Best QB, Prescott in the NFC. And Mahomes in the AFC. Steelers beat the Jets in a wild card. Bucks beat the Niners. Bills lose to the Broncos. Bears beat the Falcons. Chiefs take care of the Titans. And the Rams beat the Packers. And then they destroy the Bears 26-0. Chiefs keep winning. They beat Bo Nix and the Broncos. 190 had to go. Cowboys beat the Bucks. And then the Steelers beat division rival Baltimore. So we have 99 Mahomes and the Chiefs taking on 80 overall Russell Wilson and the Steelers. And then 74 overall Prescott and the Cowboys taking on 82 overall Stafford and the Rams. Obviously, their overalls have ballooned up. But the point is, they started at a higher overall because they had such great regular seasons in real life. They earned it. Okay, Russell Wilson, first play, gonna hand it off. Nowhere to go for Najee Harris. Russell under center. We have a rainy one in Kansas City. His first pass is completed to his tight end. 3rd down and 1. Bunch to the left. Chiefs trying to get a quick 3 and out. It's not gonna happen. Pickens gets the catch to keep the chains moving. 3rd and 2 later on. Najee Harris gonna get the first and then some. Maybe we do something with running backs. You guys let me know what we should do. But the Steelers have a ton of them. Patterson getting a nice gain on his first carry. That's a team you shouldn't sleep on. If Wilson can be in the upper tier of quarterbacks like in this simulation, look out for Pittsburgh, man. Nice dump off Patterson. Nice spin move. 1st down, Steelers. Play action. 2nd down. Wilson on the run. Throwing it to the end zone. Intercepted. Got a little too ambitious. Najee Johnson with the INT. Mahomes on his first pass gonna complete the Rashee Rice. 15 yards already. Could be a defensive battle, man. You have a healthy TJ. However, Mahomes is in the zone. Hollywood Brown with his first catch of the game. Couple plays later, 2nd and 5. Chiefs trying to get some points on the board, and it's gonna happen. Rashee Rice getting the touchdown. Kansas City looking good. We're in the 3rd quarter now. Still the same exact score until the Chiefs put up another touchdown. 4th quarter now, they're going to go up 3 possessions at one point, and they kept the lead throughout, man. Steelers fought back, but it was not enough. 100 overall Mahomes beat out 80-something overall Russell Wilson. Kansas City moving on to the Super Bowl once again. Now on the other side, we have Dak and the Cowboys up against Stafford and the Rams. Dallas with the football first, nowhere to go for Zeke. Quality front 7 on the Los Angeles Rams. Like, Stafford did not do it alone. This defense played a part, but Zeke bounces back with a nice run on 2nd down. It'll be 3rd and 2. Can the Rams get off the field? Force a quick 3 and out. CD with a free release to the left side. That's where Dak's gonna go. How do you not double team him on 3rd down? Dallas trying to get some points. They gotta get a little bit closer to be in field goal range, but they're going backwards. Byron Young with the sack. I'm telling you, that front 7 from Los Angeles is no joke. Even though they don't have Donald, they still have some playmakers. Dak gonna get those yards back and then some. Ferguson gets the 1st down. And the Cowboys are gonna end up settling for 3. Now it's Stafford's turn. Remember, he began at an 82 overall with Superstar, so he's probably in the high 80s by now. Kyron only getting 2 yards on his first rush. Another defense that's pretty good, though. Plenty of playmakers. Parsons, D-Law. It's not gonna be easy to move the football. Stafford's pass gets deflected, and they're in danger of getting a quick 3 and out. 3rd and 8. Bunch to the right. Matthew over the middle. That's Cooper Kupp, the OPOY in the NFC, moving the chains. However, very next play, Stafford gets a little too comfortable, throws an INT, and this one's gonna end up being a house call. Donovan Wilson gonna take it to the crib. Cowboys up 10. Look how fast things can change, people, but still plenty of time in this one. Rams answer back with a touchdown, but so do the Cowboys. It's 17-10 at one point. Later on in the 3rd quarter, the Rams are gonna tie it up. They actually take the lead, but Dallas fights back. They tie this one up at 24. However, Los Angeles moving the ball. Cowboys send a blitz. Beautiful dot by Stafford. They're inside the 10 thanks to Tutu. Couple plays later, Kyron Williams gonna punch this one in. Rams take the lead with less than 2 minutes left. But it's times like this where it pays to have a good kick returner. Cavante Turpin gonna get them phenomenal field position. They're right around midfield. First, Cavante had a good start to the drive, but now he's gonna do an even better job of getting open and getting the first down on third down. Speaking of third down, we have another one right here, right now. Prescott with all kinds of time going to the end zone. It's caught by Jalen Tolbert. We have a tie game. We have overtime in the NFC Championship game. Dallas will get the ball first, but both teams will possess it. And on their first drive in overtime, they're going to end up getting a touchdown. Zeke on the toss, giving the Cowboys the lead. And on the very first play on the Rams drive, Stafford's going to throw an interception. Eric Kendricks with the INT and the dagger to send the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. There you have it, man. Tough way to go out for the Rams. Still a good season. Both quarterbacks played pretty well, but the Cowboys just did a little bit more. So here we go in the Super Bowl. Dak started in the 70s. A lot less of an overall than what Mahomes started with, but here they are, both in the Super Bowl. Zeke not blocking Chris Jones at all, and his quarterback gets clobbered. Next play is going to try to make up for it. Going to fight for extra yardage. End up getting 7. 3rd and 3. Wide bunch to the left. Dak going to go to the left. That's Tolbert with the catch. What a tackle by Watson. It's going to be a punt by the Cowboys. Here's Mahomes on his first drive in the Super Bowl. Pacheco holding on to that one after a big hit by Kendricks. He sealed the game for the Cowboys. He's pumped to try to do the same thing in this one. Mahomes under center on 2nd and 7. Isaiah up the gut. Nowhere to go. He loses 2 yards. Dallas Smith, the D tackle with the tackle for a loss. 3rd and 9. Mahomes stepping up. He's going to take off. One of the better scramblers in terms of effectiveness. Like when he needs a first down, he'll get it, as he showed right there. And of course, we know about his passing ability. Very next play, he's going to find new addition Xavier Worthy, and they're inside the 30. 3rd down and 3. Cowboys have a chance to bend but not break. They can hold them on this play. They rush 4, and it's going to be an interception. Trevon Diggs with the INT. Can he beat Mahomes and Pacheco? This is going to be a race to the end zone. He's not going to get there, but still great play to prevent Kansas City from getting any points on this drive. Another crazy start to a playoff game in this sim. Cowboys strike first. They actually end up going up 14-0 at one point. Chiefs end up striking in the 3rd quarter, but it's only a field goal. The Dallas Cowboys with a multiple possession lead. Dak Prescott, who started off as a 74 overall star dev in this video, is going to end up being a quarterback to hoist the Lombardi. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Remember, let me know in the comments any other ideas you have similar to this one. Please like the video. 1,000 likes. You want to see more videos like this. And I'll see you on the next one.